We sent them half day during the day to go before STAR,
Gretchen
Barnaby, and then we did, Tara did a vertical alignment with 5th grade on a half day that was for subs, that looking at the funding of how some of the funding for professional development was spent.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay. We also did the Touch Phonics after school, paraprofessional after school, and trained them on that. That was 2 hours. And so I was just looking at, I know that
there's one more that you may not have, that
Okay.
I'd like to add. Kindergarten, the kindergarten team, Deb Cologne is well versed with the Daily 5, and she did an after school session
Daily
with
5.
Daily 5.
Okay, and that ties in with Cafe, with
Correct.
Gail, I want to say Lucio, that's how you pronounce it, but with it ties in. So she did that. Was it just one class after school? Was it like
I think it was 5 hours.
5 hours? Okay, that's
so
awesome.
significant.
Yeah, that's a pretty big chunk. I didn't know that they were. That's very cool. See, I don't know all of it. I looked through some of the pieces of it. Some of my ideas for next year. I know that we still are tied into MCP, and I guess the biggest not concern there is that we're not using the big. We're paying for the video access, right? Is that what the funds are going towards? We do get to send them, but we're not.
What's that in the training that like the MCP team went to this year? That it covers the video access and it covers the training modules.
Okay,
that
so
y'all actually go to.
Will we also next year? Will we continue to have trainings with John Samara as part of it? Do they know? Are they sure?
I think that continues.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah, that's something that
it
continues. It's part of it as well as.
So the funding isn't just for the video access, it's also for his training that we go to, and then we come back and put into the campus. I just didn't know if we should, I know we can't, one of the things we talked about is like, you can't require anyone to do like staff development, but I didn't know if we should maybe push more, like have it creates coordinated, like it creates a course created that says, look at these new videos, here are the questions already answered, and then that way,
I think
that's how we did it at my other campus. We had it where we had a sheet, we had it laid out, and we met once a month.
Okay.
Once every 6 weeks or so. And they split it up. We used to do K2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
And they'd split it and we'd meet, like the APs would lead, they would lead it. But you'd have to watch so many videos.
Okay.
So you'd watch those videos and then you'd come and you'd have the face-to-face over those videos.
And talk about
Yeah, and then there was something else set up, like a Google Doc, where you could go in and you type a little synopsis. You'd enter the video title of what you watched, the module, and then your little synopsis, and that was how credit was created. But we were able to earn 25 hours of professional development just for watching the videos.
Yeah. I know that we've talked about a couple different times, we just haven't actually put it in place but maybe it's another thing that we could possibly look at doing. Another thing that I was really thinking about doing, as I've talked a lot with Brenda about, and it's part is doing a technology club, meaning once a month, like on we're going to call it like Technology Tuesday. She is going to, we'll both host, but she'll more lead like Plickers as like a technology app that they can use in the classroom, or technology, like whether it's Prezis or some type of new technology piece that the teachers would sign up for it. We would talk about it, and then they would actually work on creating it and using it themselves and talk about how this could be applied into their classroom so they can turn around and push technology back into their classroom. So we thought about that would be a kind of a cool thing to do, because I know that some people really want to engage, but it's like always that, I don't know how to use it, I'm not seeing, but if you really practice, so we're maybe looking at 2 hours on like a Tuesday, like once a month on a Tuesday, and she would be finding, because she has the most information about what would be there. I didn't know if that's something that y'all thought would be.
I think that would be an excellent way to increase technology usage in our building.
Another thing for technology, is because it's part of my practicum plan, is finding a technology book, and so we can do a book study on it. I found 3 different books. Brenda was given Digital Natives last year from Becky, her head person, and there's 83 copies in the district. So it may be that the teachers don't have to buy, but we can maybe get 15 copies or whatever else, and then do a technology book study. Or then there was one called Using Technology with Classroom Instructions That Work, how to integrate when you're using, and then the other one was Leading a Connected Classroom. Just different ways to for those people who really love technology and just keep adding more to it and just having the most updated information, all of these books had to be published within the last 4 years. So that's one of the things that you know that they're most current too. But just another way to add technology into that. What do y'all, thoughts? I think it's too much to try to do it once a month or
a Technology Tuesday. I don't think once a month, because you need to give teachers a chance that if they meet once a month, give them an opportunity to apply. If you cover a concept for perhaps like 1 month, it would be on Prezzies. Then the next month it might be open, and it could be on Smartboard games that can increase student engagement. And then the next month, you'd mentioned something.
It's called a Plickr.
A Plickr. I think Plickr is what she showed us. It was the little.
Is it the little? It has the
UPC. It's not UPC, but the
QR. It's the little boxes.
Where it's the teacher holds up and she can scan so automatic data to see, like, if you're trying to figure out the automatic feedback and just how teachers could use that in the classroom and talk about different grade levels, the different ways of how that would just show you the feedback in your data analysis of a quick data.
Do we still have technology helping teachers? We do, correct?
Well,
within the district?
Becky Cook was a big one. I don't know what her title is.
Because they used to come in
like
to the campuses. Yes. And Don Yonke.
Daniela was one of them.
They would come in and they could partner with us because they would come in and they would meet. They would be like one day a month or whatever on campus, and during planning times teachers would come through and they would show them the different things that came through. So that might be something.
Another way to partner.
It would be.
Might have to be Technology Thursday.
Technology Thursday, yeah, because of
Tuesday's planning, right?
But if it was Technology Thursday, the thing once a month, I think they knew what, like third Thursday of the month. Then they would already plan that and have that on their calendars, and then they would give them a month to apply it. I think that as far as the book study goes, if it's as desired, you know what I'm saying, as it voluntarily, I don't think there's any reason not to offer it.
Okay.
So I think the more learning we can provide on our campus, the better.
Right. I feel like for me, that's one of my areas that I know that I want to continue to grow.
Now, if they're not available and you go to doing it before school, where my thought was taking me is as you offer them, you may have some people who are interested in Prezzies, and then a different group of people who are interested in Smartboard, and a different group of people who are interested in maybe one day like how to catch young readers on the computer. You know what I'm saying? And so you could just highlight some programs that they could use while they're doing small group intervention. Here are some programs you can use to build phonics skills in your students. That type of a.
Yeah, I was leaving that one up to Brenda because she gets all the new fun stuff.
She's sorry. Another way that Pope Elementary brought technology in this last year is there's some sort of app that uses your cell phone, and the teachers, there was some sort of thing that you had around your neck, but it recorded them teaching, and it sent it to a site, and they could have one of their peers log in and watch the video.
Oh wow.
And so they were able to kind of give feedback to one another. And so they really worked to establish that. And when I talked to them, it was at the beginning of the year. So I don't know how their rollout went.
That was very cool.
I know I wrote it down, but I can't remember what the app is.
Okay.
But it's a way that we could bring that in maybe to where
with a coaching
session, where it's a coaching session, but it could be that they record it and they watch it themselves
and reflect on it.
Because then you can see it. You can see what it looks like, but then kind of establish that.
The model would be interesting if you did that a few times with yourself reflecting and then get ready to share it with a peer after you've done it a couple times.
And I think they eventually brought in, maybe the administrative team somewhat, like the admin, their evaluators, but it wasn't until way far down the line.
Okay. Maybe a lot of voices, maybe not a lot of.
Another thing I looked at possibly doing is, or adding or talking about doing is every 9 weeks having some type of make and take activity where I really want the teachers to be involved in creating some of the staff development, or some of the leaders on the grade levels to create staff development that other teachers would want to come to. I know with make and take I know we talked about this the other day, but a lot of times we're doing a math worksheet or we're doing a reading passage. And how can we do something other than that? And teachers have some really great ideas. So if it was more of a share session, or, hey, look, I created this game, how can we put this game in here and just understand what the components are of the game, or how you can make the pieces to make the game. So they can put the games in the classroom to make learning a little bit more engaged, and maybe do it per content area. Like maybe math science gets together and they talk about some of the different games or different activities that they can make and create activities to put into their classroom that are not just worksheet based, or just having a discussion with language arts teachers. Do we always have to have a comprehension passage to judge whether or not students understand comprehension a grade? And like, who else has other ideas, or what are some of the things that we think that we can be doing to put it back into the classroom? Like, you want them to be, whatever they're attending, whatever class they're attending, how can you feed it right back into the classroom? And so it's something that's very valuable to them, and they're excited about wanting to do it. And just looking at different ways. I don't have the answers. I just know that I think that if we look back, and I know that we have teachers that are super strong on our teams, what are y'all doing? I know we share about it during planning, but if something's really cool that a second grade team is doing, can other grade, more of a share session within, if these are the cool things that I'm doing, and can it apply at another grade level or something like that.
Right.
They're very creative with some of those things, but just another way. Okay, it's at Postma, it's after school, so if it's from 4 to 6, it's not like it's a huge time commitment, you're going somewhere else, and you're already here, most of them are still here, so let's just get through and see what we can put it back in, and then we can just be kind of checking and assessing to see if it's showing up. And some of the lesson plans that are showing up, that are the different games that they would be doing. Yeah. Are there any other ideas that y'all would think that for staff development that we would be able to?
I think the one deficit that we have, a huge deficit that we have, is paraprofessional training and teaching our paras how to, intervention pieces, and really setting them up. We put them in a classroom, and they're in a classroom to help, but they don't necessarily have the training.
It's interesting.
For how to do that.
And I've completed evaluations. That's something that they asked for. The conversation was often, this is what in-class support looks like. Sometimes this is how it should look. What should it look like? And so we had some discussions on that, and I think that too can, whether we're talking interventionists, paraprofessionals who work as interventionists, that's going to look different than paraprofessionals who do in-class support, but I think it would be beneficial for them to know both roles, because oftentimes our paras wear both hats,
Right.
Filling in for one another, and what is the difference? Because interventionists, you're working directly with students on prescriptive skills, and in-class support, you may be working on a prescriptive skill if it's their IEP goal at that time, but you may also be just providing the instruction that the teacher has, and providing reinforcement of the instruction that the teacher has, and what does that look like? So I do think we need to look at a component. I agree with Becky for paraprofessional training.
I know when I was doing one of my class on on School of Law, a lot of things we talked about with special ed, and a lot of things that we were noticing in all of our discussion boards.